Hi guys, IDOWorkHereLady. Welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I have a story for you titled, Am I the a-hole for pretending not to recognize my parents when they try to reconnect? It starts off with saying, I was raised mostly by my uncle and aunt. My older sister developed a serious illness when I was 6 and my parents decided they couldn't care for both of us, I guess. So they kind of unceremoniously dumped me and my grandparents, and my uncle took me in. Like, they didn't even explain to me what was going on, just, you're going to go visit Grant for a while and never pick me back up. Wow. Okay, so, I mean, look, great parenting right there. Just from that alone, you're not the a-hole, but let's continue the rest of the story to find out exactly what happened. It continues, my grandparents and uncle explained it later, and they were pretty livid at my parents. I mean, would you blame them? I think everyone listening to this wouldn't. I've seen my parents maybe 5 times since, and not at all for the last 9 years. Rightly so, right? At this point, I would say you have no parents. And I know that sounds awful, but what they've done to you is awful. I mean, they left you at your grandparents, and your uncle had to take you in, and that was it. No discussion, no communication, no explanation. It just happened. People. Nonetheless, it continues. I decided to stop having contact with them when I was 12, and since I was the only one reaching out for all communication, it broke down. It turned out okay. I love my aunt and uncle, and it turns out they can't have kids, so they always said I'm their miracle kids. Oh wow, okay, that's nice. I was just misrouted. I was just misrouted by the stork at first. That's actually pretty funny. That's very clever. I was formally adopted by them when I turned 18. I wish it had been earlier, but there were some red tape things that would have made it really expensive and difficult. I'm 21 now. It continues, my sister passed away between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Oh my God, I'm sorry for your loss. And I made a trip back from school for the funeral, but I stayed in the back and left everyone before my bio parents could talk to me. They called my uncle to try to talk to me, but I said I didn't want to. So he told them that I wasn't available at the moment. I mean, look, you have nothing to talk to your bio parents, well, to your parents, right? Nothing to talk to them about. So your reaction is completely justifiable. It continues, they finally caught up to me over Christmas when I went to midnight mass with my grand and approached me and tried to give me a huge hug. Why? Like, who are you? No, seriously, I'm laughing because it's like, what do they expect would happen? You'd be like, oh, parents, friends, come give me a hug. No, you wouldn't put up with this. He continues, I did recognize them, but I pretended not to and just backed off and said, sorry, do I know you? What a great response. They said, we're your parents. Oh my God, I can't believe, like, the nerve and the cheek that you have to turn around and say, what, we're your parents? Like, do they not understand what they've done? Like, the cheek of them. Anyway, so they said, we're your parents. And I said, my parents are at home. He's talking about his uncle and auntie. And when I sat down with my gran, they sat behind us and I could just feel the stare. And on the way out, they were like, you really don't recognize this? I can't believe they're actually trying this. And I said, oh, are you my dad's brother? I think I remember you from when I was little. That's such a good response. You know what? He could have taken it really negatively. He could have shouted at them, screamed, but the way that he addressed it was excellent, in my opinion. It wraps up by saying, my gran thinks they deserved it, trying to come back to me like nothing happened. But they wrote me a long letter about how hurt they are and how I should understand they were trying to do the right thing. BS! I can't believe they've got the cheek to do that. Wow, okay, so they wrote me a letter. They wrote me a long letter about how hurt they are and how I should understand that they were trying to do the right thing. Yeah, right. And how they always will be my parent and I can't change that. Other family members think I was too harsh as they were grieving. No, you weren't harsh at all. But I don't think they should get a pass just because they remembered me now that my sister's gone. I mean, that's the end of the story, guys. In terms of comments, because I do want to read some comments on this one. First one says, notice how in the letter, they only focus on themselves, how hurt they were, then had the audacity to tell you how you should feel and how you should be. These people are garbage and deserve to know and to be told repeatedly that they are garbage. OP, you're not the a-hole. And I completely agree with this, right? The parents are being really, selfish. I'm very cheeky with this approach, to be perfectly honest with you. One last comment before I wrap up this story. It says, it shows that their choice had nothing to do with making sacrifices for their neediest child, and everything to do with ensuring they could portray themselves as the most tragic yet stalwart parents who had to suffer the loss of one child so they can dedicate themselves to the other. I mean, look, that's the end of the story, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'm out.